It's an icy winter's night, and your feet are numb from walking across the cold tiles. Then you remember. You reach into the drawer and find the soft bundle. You tease them apart, uncoupling the pair. Then you slowly cover one foot, and then the other, your heart warming as your feet begin to do the same. You edge socks, soft but not too soft, warm but not too warm. You edge socks.
On this episode of The Mimic's Veil, we talk PS5 Pro, Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster, Tetris Forever, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and Toads of the Bayou. Toads of the Bayou. Is that culturally offensive to say like that?
I was thinking, because I was thinking of Princess and the Frog.
Right.
And that's, there's like what's the fly that's bum glows?
Jeff Goldblum.
That's the one.
Yep.
And he has that.
Not a glowworm, that's a worm.
Yeah. What is it?
Firefly? No.
Firefly. That's
Firefly.
it. Firefly. That's a great series. He has that accent. And I'm always like,
Kind of like Gambit from X-Men. That accent.
Take your word for it.
You're an X-Men guy. You're a nerd.
No. I don't like Marvel's shite.
How dare you call one of us a nerd?
Anyway, Toads of the Bayou. Toads of the Bayou. But right, before I get into that fully, I love cookies. Yeah. Which might seem like a wild tangent when we're about to talk about a video game, but bear with me. Cookies as in track all of my browsing data.
Yeah.
Please. Track everything. I have nothing to hide. Track it. It's great. I know that's a controversial take, but I love it. Because when I check my news feed, half of it is, oh, here's this new tactics game you've never heard of. Oh, here's this new turn-based strategy game you've never heard of. Blah, 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 blah. And that is how I stumbled across this game that doesn't seem to be being marketed particularly heavily. We're talking about it pre-release, right? It's not out yet at the time of recording, but it will be by the time this episode drops. Toads of the Bayou. I just thought it was a cool name.
Yeah,
that is a cool name.
Yeah, and I love the art style. Had a little sort of read up on what it's about, and it is just it's another one of those kind of tactical breach wizards into the breach kind of tactical strategy games on a small isometric pixel art. It is. Well, first things first, and I need to start. I think I'm going to start with. Go on.
May I ask a question before you jump into this?
Yes.
Have you finished Metal Slug Tactics, or are you double fisting?
No. I've moved from slugs to toads.
Got it.
Graduated from slugs to toads. Yeah. No, I haven't. I am eating good. As I feel like we need like we've got Survivor's Corner. I think we need like Tactics Town or something.
Tactics Tales.
Let's workshop it.
Sure. There's no bad ideas here, but the
not that.
but definitely not that, because that's terrible. Tactics Town. No. Let us know, anyone that's listening. What should
Tactics
we call
Talk.
that?
Talk tactics.
Talk turn-based. No, I don't know. Toads of the Bayou. Anyway, so right. As I said, caveat this by we've got a pre-release build of this, so some of what I'm about to say I am imagining will get fixed, but it is not. I haven't been able to play it on the Steam Deck. Okay. Basically, it is. I've tried, and it's got some button prompts, so it knows that I'm using a controller, but I found that experience, not optimal whatsoever. So I switched over to good old mouse and keyboard, and which is how I played Tactical Breach Wizards as well in the end, because it's just like it's just more comfortable playing that sort of game, and since switching over to that, it's been much more playable. It is kind of, I think that's quite indicative of the game being a little bit rough around the edges in general. So there's a few little bits that I will imagine will get ironed out. Like, so there's a deck building element to this, which is like, come down to deck building decks down. But so some of the card, I noticed one of the cards, the description that's at the bottom of the card was like bleeding over the edge of the card, like the border around it, and it's just like it shouldn't look like that.
Oh, so not deliberately, as like
it's almost like there's just one word too many, and it's gone down onto the next line, and it's just stuff like that that's easily remedied, I'm sure, but it's it's stuff like that you just
word bleed, not blood, as in like there's the card that had blood on it, like as a bit of
yes, that's correct.
Special bit of that added extra bit of that special sauce.
Yeah, well, it's a printing term. I'm a printer by trade. I'm not. My dad was, and my brother. There you go.
I worked for Xerox for 2.5 years back in the day. Well done.
Thanks. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Sorry, on you go.
Alex, any printing history you want to share with the group?
I've used quite a lot of printers in my day.
There we go. Great. Now, so just again, while I'm kind of listing off gripes, because there are a few. Again, you get to an end of a mission, or you die or whatever, and it's all very abrupt. It doesn't feel like there's that whole polished like crescendo or whatever the opposite of that is, and it's all a bit like, that's finished. On to the next thing, kind of thing.
So like you'll die. There won't be any animation of you dying.
Well, there is the animation. The animation is actually excellent when that moment that you die. You kind of your little toad holds out a gun as if he's going to shoot someone and then falls backwards, and that's actually quite cool. But it's a bit mobile-y, I would say, in its presentation. You know how you get like. Each stage comes with 3 objectives, like a classic, or 2 or 3 objectives, like a mobile game does.
Yeah.
But then that's not a bad thing. It's like if you hit those objectives, you get currency. If you don't hit them, you get like a negative card put into your deck. So like either an unplayable card or a card that will poison you or take 1 life off you if you don't play it. So it's almost like you're using up one of your turns to get rid of this card, which is a nice little touch. But yeah, so all that to say, it's a bit rough around the edges, fairly basic, certainly compared to something like Mail Slug Tactics that was, I thought, reinvented the tactics genre a bit more bravely. But all that to say, it's so fucking addictive.
Yeah.
It's like one of those classic, this is definitely a 7 out of 10, but I feel like I love it like a 9 or a 10.
Oh yeah, really?
Like it's really like, I should be casting my critical eye over this and going, no, there are better games out there that I could be playing. But it's...
So the gameplay is good, is what you're saying. There's a couple of graphical things, but that gameplay...
Yeah, that sweet gameplay, as you always say, is... it's there, and it's a roguelike, but it's not... I didn't find it too challenging. Got to a bit of a... I died at quite a dickish point I think there's like 3 stages, and I got to the boss of the second stage, and it killed me in a slightly unfair way. But now I know, okay, well, next time I get that boss, I'll know what to do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it's just good. It's pretty simple, but the presentation's great.
It looks good.
Yeah.
It does look very nice.
That does a lot of the heavy lifting and it's mostly kind of you're pushing the enemies around, trying to get them to slam into each other. You can sort of swap places with them and make them shoot each other, things like that. And it's got something. It does, as I said, it feels a bit like a mobile, like it would work well as an iOS game or an Android game, just as a little sort of addictive time waster. But yeah, there's something there. There's something there. I don't think it's going to win any awards necessarily, but I love that combo of deck building and tactics. And it's just some of the little flourishes, like the little hub world you're in is quite cool, and you can open up new shops to buy traps and one-off consumable upgrades and things like that. You can recruit new toads that give you sort of passive buffs. It's got something. I would say, yeah, if you're into this genre as much as I've found myself being certainly this year, then I do think it is more than worth checking out. There is a demo, I think, on Steam. I'm not sure if it's coming to any other platforms as yet. I think it is just a Steam jobbo. But yeah, it's cool, and it's got a cool name. Toads of the Bayou.
Yeah, it does. It's cool. I like it. It's got a sexy little toad in there at the shop. Yeah, it's good. I like it. What's her name?
Yeah.
What's their name?
I didn't catch her name.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I think Alex, I'm not sure you would like it, but Lewis, knowing your penchant for Fire Emblem stuff like that, I can see you getting a kick out of this. It's a much more sort of snappier, more palatable experience. Like the battles don't last very long. It's quite an easy one to sort of dip in and dip out of.
Yeah. So, is there any? You're saying it's quite mobile. Do you think it will come to mobile phones?
I'd imagine it would work quite well touchscreen. It's almost like the UI suggests they've got mobile in mind.
Did you say that you went and you started using keyboard and mouse? Was it a bit funny with the joystick, I guess, or I guess an analog stick, or whatever you fucking want to call it?
Yeah, so I was actually trying to drag my cards onto the play area and using the touchscreen on the Steam Deck, and that was the only way I was finding that I could do that. But then when I got back to the hub world, navigating around that I just couldn't work out if I was supposed to use a joystick or a finger or whatever. So yeah, switched over to mouse and keyboard, and it was smooth as butter.
What's the OST like?
Good, not like mind blowing. Like it didn't grab me, but I think it was sort of suitable, and a lot of the kind of background noise, like that sort of swampy, chirping and chirruping and insects and things like that. That was more. It was quite so just atmospheric, really. But yeah, certainly not bad, but just didn't like fully grab me as the main selling point of the game, like some games do.
Have you ever played? It's different. It's grid based, but it's a totally different kind of game. I've played it and I've not finished it. Shock.
Qbert.
Yes. Not Qbert. Felix the Reaper.
No.
Do you know what it is? You play as you basically you're Death, another Death game. Much like Have a Nice Death.
Is it black and white?
But you, let's just say yes. And you got your Walkman on, and you're kind of dancing around, and like a scenario is playing out in front of you, but it has it's paused, and there is someone on the board that needs to die, and you need to move things into a particular order for like, the chain of events to happen. For like, this person nudges into a wooden post. The post then knocks a barrel. The barrel then rolls onto the road. This goes into the car swerves off the road and smacks the person. Right. That's that game. So yeah, you might like it.
Final Destination
Kind of like that, yeah. Yeah.
That sounds good. Yeah. You reminded me of something else, and then it popped out of my brain again. No, it's back. Shotgun King. I think I've recommended that to you before. Again, as like I think it was a couple of years ago that it came out. It's on all platforms. It's on the Switch, and it's very much it's chess but with shotguns.
Chess.
Like you're the king, and you've got a shotgun. It's good. The ultimate grid-based tactics game. Yeah. But anyway,
But then I can't remember what you spoke about. We spoke about last week, so 2 years ago.
No, exactly. Anyway, let's do a quick handbrake turn out of Tactics Town via what was the other thing? Via
Deck building docks.
Deck building docks. Let's dip into Survivor's Corner because Lewis,
It's not me.
you've been visiting this
playing.
week.
I've
Tell
been
us.
busy playing. So after you guys were going on and on and on about Vampire Survivors Ode to Castlevania, I was like, yeah. And I went and I picked it up. I got it on my save. I know where my save is. It's on the Switch. I don't have to go and try every single console. I know where my save is. I know where I've been playing it. And so I picked it up. I played a bit of the Ode to Castlevania, but much like what you were saying, I don't have that much unlocked on the for the Switch version. So I've kind of been playing the main game, and then absolutely loving it. It's just sort of slowly making my way through each level, and it's like you feel like you've got a really good build, and it's getting later and later in the game, and like it's just a tiny little bit more tricky. You're like, oh my god, these enemies are not dying as quickly as they should be, and then you kind of get an extra little bit of an upgrade, and you just start absolutely smashing through them again, and you're like, inject this game directly into my veins.
It's particularly when you get the evolutions. It's when you get to that point that the things start evolving, and you're like, it's like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, because I got the whip, and the whip evolves to be it drains HP, or it gives you HP, and I was like, this is great. I'd be dead if it wasn't for this. But what I like using Poe, because he's got garlic, or the guy who has the electric to start off with. But I always try and get, I can't remember what his name is. I always try and get garlic as early as possible.
Yeah.
Just to give me a buffer.
Yeah.
I
I don't feel safe until I've got garlic around.
No. It's like you always...
When you get the big 20% buff to that, and it's like this huge ring around you. Yeah. Brilliant.
It's like I always need that, and you always need a duplicator. So I'm always leaving a space for the garlic. So if you get 5 weapons, you're just leaving that 6th one, hoping that you finally get the garlic. And I always need a duplicator so that I've always got an extra.
You're
little,
talking.
So the duplicator's like
for me.
the little ring, which is just, it gives you an extra missile or like anything that fires things out. It basically gives you an extra.
Does it
one
twice?
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think I unlocked everything and was getting into that stage when I was playing it originally on Xbox. But yeah, going back, I forgot how overwhelming it is to start with as well. And as soon as like a crowd comes, it's like, well, I'm fucked now. I haven't got anything unlocked. I'm nowhere near powerful enough, and that's like 20 minutes in or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's once you get those unlocks and it starts. So I need to play more of it I haven't got to the point where it's upgraded that whip yet to drain HP or anything like that. Because I never even think, I need to save. I didn't even know there was.
Yeah, I didn't think of that
space.
either.
I just I'll pick that one. Okay, I'll pick that one and then I'll upgrade that one. But
I have a question about upgrades. So on the main page, like the home screen or whatever you want to call it, there is an upgrades bit, and it takes you into an extra menu with each weapon with some boxes you tick. What's that? What's that all about?
Basically just improves. So basically that's like your starting upgrades. So if you go in and spend all your coins on them, then it just boosts everything to your starting position.
Okay.
Sorry, is that from the main menu? Like
Yeah. Where you
the
like
power up
bit.
Yeah.
Your power-ups.
Yeah. No, that's pretty crucial because you can get a revive in there and
Tiramisu,
boost you. Is that what it is? Tiramisu.
Yeah.
Do you like tiramisu?
I don't, but Martin loves it.
Yeah, I don't. Like
Coffee in it, of course I like it. Fucking amazing.
Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. Yeah, no, great game though, and music, as we said, exquisite.
Yeah.
And does make me want to go and play Castlevania more, which is, clever. Clever marketing.
And
That's how
I think
it works.
it's very good as well how it does it in terms of then you've obviously got your specific things for the DLCs, like for your Contra and for your Castlevania, but how it also then links all of those things into the normal game, and you can go and either use those characters or you start getting those weapons in the normal game, or you start, and it just mixes it all up a wee bit and keeps it all fresh.
That's cool. I wonder
Very
what
good.
they'll do next, because eventually they'll give up on this, won't they? Be interesting. Yeah.
Was it in Balatro they added? No, it wasn't Vampire Survivors, was it?
Yeah,
Tetris
yeah.
thing, yeah.
Oh, was
Yeah,
it?
there's a Vampire Survivors deck. There's a Stardew deck now,
Is
and
that
a Binding of Isaac, and Slay the Spire. Yeah,
in Balatro?
yeah.
Is
They
that?
did a
I didn't know that.
They did a whole second wave of those. What was it? Jimbo's Friends of Jimbo, wasn't it?
Knocked it down a peg or two when they added Stardew, but
Yeah, well, you can't win them all. Yeah. Yeah, good. Good stuff. Alex, what about you? What have you been playing?
I've had a wee week of like old and new. It's been a funny one. So I have also played, when I was away, I played quite a lot of Vampire Survivors on the Steam Deck. But obviously we just talked about that, so I'm not going to say much more because it's unsurprising, really. What I have played quite a bit of is Tetris Forever. So this is great. So it's basically, it's one of these kind of, if you think Atari 50, where it was like the kind of crossover of the almost interactive documentary, and it takes you through the whole story of Tetris. Where it started, like the original version on the Electronica 600 or whatever it's called. Electronica 60, that was just total nonsense. Right through to like current day. I think I've not, so there's 5 chapters of the documentary, like with different videos and stuff, different stages, the game's life cycle, like kind of different events that led to where it started, how it got to Nintendo, like a lot of the stuff, like if you've seen the film, but it's kind of the real story to the film, like the kind of less dramatised version and the more in-depth story, but it is with
No
like
car
the-
chases.
no car chases so far, no. But it is with like Henk and Alexei, so they are doing all the documentaries, so it is them just talking and taking you through the story, so you are getting it all. But as you get to the different points in the story, like each version of the game is playable, so all the different versions that you go through, when you get to that bit of the story, you can stop and start playing that version of the game.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool. Do you need to get to that before you can
No,
play
you
it?
can just go in and play and pick the versions you want to play.
Eat your
but-
vegetables first, and then you can have your dessert.
So you can get, so I did do it that way. I was watching each bit of the documentary, see when you got to that original like Electronica 60 version and played that, and you're kind of going through.
Still good.
Yeah, I mean it's
Still
funny.
Tetris?
It's still Tetris, but it's like not got the music, and it's not got like, it's funny to see kind of exactly where it started to where it got to where it is.
Yeah.
And all that, even without the music and without things, there was always something there. I think that's the one thing you'd see from the different playing, the different versions of the game. Some of them are quite difficult to play. Like it's not. You can imagine all the
'cause-
systems you were playing with, it would be a bit easy with like cursors and stuff rather than try to play it in a controller.
Yeah, and it's been like obviously they refined it before it went mass market as well. And like Hank did, he was the one that suggested Tetris, like as a concept, right? The 4-line clearing.
Yeah, and like
thing
the
and
single
all that
line,
stuff.
triple, and all that
Yeah,
side of things. And he was kind of driving it onto the Game Boy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But where they've added a game mode towards the end of the game, and I've only played this a couple of times, but it's brilliant. So it's called Tetris Time Warp.
right.
So you're basically playing like a game of like modern day Tetris. Think of it like Tetris Effect Tetris, where you
Yeah.
get that like zone where you go into the zone and you start doing stuff. But your zones here kick off with different pieces that come down, and when you knock down those pieces, depending on which era the piece came from, it warps you back to that game for 30 seconds. And it's all
Right.
about then playing that bit of the game to get your score up, and it's very,
That's
very well
cool.
done. Like it kind of comes up 2024 on the screen, and then it starts rolling back to whatever year you're
Right.
going to, and then takes you in it.
And that is a
very
version
nice
that
touch
Digital Eclipse themselves made. Is it
Yeah.
for specifically that?
for this game, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's lovely. I love Tetris. I'm just loving every bit of this, and like taking some of these things I'm not interested in, but this kind of whole story and all the different versions of the games, like I'm right there for it all. Like looking around all the box arts and all that. Different
Yeah,
stuff.
that's the thing, because they've done a couple of these. I forget what they're called, like Gold Series or something. Their
yeah,
games
Gold
that they do.
Master series. Is it?
That's it. Yeah. And a couple for like franchises that I got no real connection to, but I'd imagine, this
This
will
one's
have a
good.
much greater reach because it's Tetris, right? It's
Uh-huh.
one of the best games of all time.
Yeah.
What? Speaking of the best games, though, are there any glaring omissions in what versions are included? Because imagine licensing and
I'll
stuff.
Effect. I don't think any of the Effect games are there.
Hmm.
I think that's the main omission I've noticed. I haven't got far enough on to see that that's the case, because the actual maker of Tetris Effect is in the documentaries and stuff, so he's
Right.
there, but the version of the games don't. And I suppose it's hard to. It's not necessarily. I'm sure it'd be hard to put that full game in there to play.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
need the smaller versions of the games. A lot of other stuff, like there's games in there I've never heard of, like versions of Tetris and Tetris Bomb and all this different stuff. And there's no like Puyo Puyo. I certainly haven't noticed any Puyo Puyo Tetris.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
Um,
Puyo Puyo and like even the NES or the Game Boy version.
the NES one's there.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So it's got the NES one, the Game Boy one. So all of those versions are there. But
Oh, that's cool.
that took
And they all
me
like
back.
play differently. Yeah.
They all do play slightly differently, because I forgot with the NES version, like the controls are completely different. It's like down to rotate and then across and then the button to drop. And I'm like starting playing this and you're like, no, this is not how this works. But like,
So when you
Yeah.
play, what was the one when you get a particular block from a game and it takes you back?
Time warp.
Does the
the controls
Control
change to
method.
match
Controls
the game.
change.
I think it does. I think it
Jesus.
does. Yeah. So it's
like stressful if you're building up?
because it does all get faster. So like the levels of the game as you get it back into the time warp is at the level that you've reached in your playthrough. So it does get faster and hits you with different like setups and stuff.
Is there a multiplayer version of that where, like, instead of dropping trash blocks, you can send Lewis back to 1985?
I'm not sure how the multiplayer works. There is a multiplayer, but I think it's only local. I don't think it
Right,
has
okay.
online. So
Okay.
I think it's, which is fair enough for this type of game. I don't think they're the type of developer that's got the infrastructure to manage that, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But there is a local multiplayer, so maybe try and get Martin to play it with me and see what happens.
Is there a physical version of this on the Switch? That's what I want to know.
You are very good at Tetris. I witnessed that firsthand at EGX.
Well,
I sat
well,
next to you and struggled to get one line, and you were like, just this is so good.
so going from that, I did then like have to like play Tetris.
Oh, so you've got an analog pocket now, and you've been playing
I've been
Tetris.
playing
on it.
Tetris on my analog pocket. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Like, why not? Like, so
How is the
it's-
analog pocket?
It's lovely. I need to
Yeah.
I haven't get it properly set up yet, because I did have an old SD card, but it doesn't work because it says it's like defunct. So I'm like, that's fine. I need to get a new one and get it all set up properly.
And what is the plan? Just dump a load of ROMs onto that and then play them?
Essentially, that's my plan.
Lovely.
Yes. So
I guess while we're talking about things you've treated yourself to, we should speak about the elephant in the room.
it's not an elephant. Like the old PS5 is an elephant. This one's quite a nice little svelte thing. And I was quite surprised at how small it was. But yes, I did
Yeah.
get my PS5 Pro. I could sit here and pretend that it's amazing and I notice like this huge difference, and it's I don't, largely because the games I hadn't played on the PS5, so I can't naturally compare them. Also because I haven't had a lot of time to play with it yet. But I've started playing Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered because I thought this is
Good
the
one.
time.
Yeah.
And I think it is the time because I got past the bit that annoyed me. Got a good hour or so past that, and I want to play it again. So this could be progress. But it looks.
You're an adult.
I'm an adult. Yeah, 40 now. That's it.
In the game.
But it looks amazing. Like it really, really does look stunning. And obviously, I've not played Forbidden West. I had played a bit of the original Zero Dawn on PS5, but this looks really, really good. And I was playing it with I had to turn the DreamSense on and the lights, so I turned the lights off, but DreamSense on with the TV. Then it was all just lighting up with and it was just like, oh, this is so good, so good.
I don't know what DreamSense is.
It basically is a little camera on the top of my TV. It's Movie Sense, I think it's actually called. So it's all the lights and stuff I've got on my walls and my ceiling lights and behind the TV all linked to the TV, and then it just projects the scene essentially.
It is good. We've got Philips Ambilight TV, not that one behind me, but in another room that does that as well and syncs up with the Philips Hue lights and stuff. And it's like, I've barely ever used it. It's like
but the odd occasions you do, it does.
Yeah. When you're like, right, I'm in full nerd mode, like I want everything going. It is good. Yeah. And you're enjoying the game as well, more importantly.
Yes, I am. Good. Got past that back, quite enjoying. Like I've got to grips with my bow, my little enjoying kind of taking out the machine so far from afar. I haven't quite put it down to story mode. I've kind of stayed above story mode, not far above it, but above it. So just to give
impressive. One notch
a
up.
wee bit of challenge.
That's the sweet
a
spot.
lot of challenge.
Yeah.
I just want to enjoy it.
What bit did you drop off at?
It was when it first started telling you where it is, that you were still the child, like you need to watch the pattern of the boom so that you can stealth past them and all this nonsense. Like, no. No. But I think I thought too much. Like I was overthinking it, and I had to wait for like the perfect moment to go. And I'm like, oh, I just need to know it's walking that way, and then I can walk past it. That's fine.
Yeah,
Because I think the first time I did it, I'm like, oh, but I need to wait for the optimum moment or where it stopped. And I'm like, too much. I don't care where it's going. Like when I've got a weapon, I'll just fight it. But yeah.
So it's quite handy. Like I think the pull of having a new toy and this being one of the best showcases of that is probably enough to pull you through that.
Yeah.
So.
And the fact I don't have a disc drive to play some of the other things I want to play yet. So,
I've seen you not tweet, but I've seen it on Blue Sky. You're saying that you had what was the game you couldn't play?
I did forget. I didn't realise I had actually ordered Lego Horizon Adventures on a disc. So
send it to us.
I just send it back.
We'll cover it.
But yeah.
Mentioning Blue Sky there, we should plug. We've got a Blue Sky.
We do.
In case anyone else has been part of the mass exodus, they can come and give us a follow. What is it? What's our handle?
It's
They're weird, aren't they?
Be Sky Social, but if you just search for the Mimics Vale, you'll find us.
You'll find us. Yeah.
Starting
to enjoy it.
Down.
Yeah, they must do. I was chatting to Stella Chung from IGN today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Blue Sky. Yeah, it's having a little chin wag with her. It's like it seems much more
Sociable
than the other place ever was. It's nice.
Yeah, like I remember when it used to be like all nice and happy days. Way back when, more than 10 years ago.
I would say even like 2017, 2018, it was fine. Like this is where I met most of you guys and chatting. Yeah, maybe that was a sign of the downfall.
Bad.
Yeah. Yeah. But
yeah, come and say hi.
Come say hi. But what PS5 Pro, Alex? What are you most looking forward to testing out on it? Because I know, like, you haven't played Final Fantasy Rebirth, but that seems to be the one where there is actually a noticeable difference, and not people squinting at Digital Foundry videos and going, Maybe there's a slight difference there. But anything in particular for you?
No, I just wanted one.
Yeah, yeah. Ultimately, that's all that matters.
Yeah, but I'm intrigued to see how much it impacts VR stuff in the longer term or the medium term, because I think there could be noticeable differences in some of the performances of some of the VR games. Hopefully, there are bits and pieces like stuff like Hogwarts and Star Wars, just to see them maybe running a wee bit like Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah.
Games that I've started and want to finish, and I'd really want to back up Dragon Age, the
Veilguard.
So
Yeah.
again, that'll wait until I've got a disc drive, so that's a good excuse not to buy it.
Yeah. It's a good deterrent from buying more games than you can afford. Now you mentioned Star Wars Outlaws there. Another recent Star Wars game is, of course, Jedi Survivor.
Dearie me.
So let's skirt back to Survivor's Corner, but not for Survivor's like, just for Jedi Survivor. Lewis, you've been playing a bit of that.
My God, Ben, can we just have a little pause to say
Moment of
that
silence.
segue was... That's the best segue I think I've ever heard in my whole life.
It's a succulent segue.
The classic, that thing you were just talking about is a bit like this thing we should be talking about as well. Classic
but then
segue format.
you also included Survivor Corner because it's Jedi
That's it,
Survivor.
Yeah. I mean,
God.
we're pretty deep into this now. We're a proper podcast. We can start flexing a little bit, can't we? I
think we just stop.
Transitions.
That's it. Finished.
Yeah, we've peaked. We've peaked in the podcast.
The Destiny's Child.
Yes. Talk to me about Survivor by Destiny's Child. No, talk to me about Jedi Survivor.
So it's one of the games on the long list of ones that I parked. I picked back up again. I'm hoping that, unlike Persona 5 Royal, Death Stranding, Returnal, Elden Ring, I guess, to an extent, that I actually finish this.
Dark Souls,
that's correct. Damn it. There's loads. I hope that I finish this one. I don't think it's too long. I'm around 13 hours in.
okay.
I don't remember it being that long.
How long to beat says about 18. I think 16 or 18.
That feels about right.
Okay, so about 20 of them.
Yeah, but you know what? The reason I'm playing this is because I used my Xbox for the first time through the week with you two guys. I was like,
yeah.
I forget that I've got these games here because the Xbox just basically gathers dust at this point, despite that there being a lot of good stuff on there. And that's where I've got Jedi Survivor on Game Pass.
Is it on Game Pass?
Yeah.
I didn't realise. I knew the first one was. I didn't realise Survivor was as well.
Game Pass.
Wow.
So yeah, I started it early this year. Stopped, I think, because of replaying Elden Ring on the lead up to Shadow of the Erdtree. But it's such a good game. I really love it. It's really great. Like it is a Metroidvania. You can't, typical Metroidvania things, you can't get to certain places until you unlock abilities, maybe on a different planet, have to come back. But it's just such a cool story, such a cool Star Wars story. And whereas like I've still to play Outlaws, I prefer my Star Wars games to be lightsaber based because I'm just that kind of guy. I'm an Obi-Wan Kenobi where others may be Han Solo. I'm an old man, whereas they're sexy young smugglers.
Cool guys.
Yeah.
Sexy young smugglers. Episode title. No, that.
So yeah, I'm unsure of where I actually am in the story as such, but just having fun with it, having fun with different stances. I think I pretty much when I say stances, there are more lightsaber stances than what were available in the first game. First game, I think there was just single and then double bladed, but in this one there's a stance where you use a blaster. There's a stance where you have a more heavy attack. I can't quite think of what it's called, but you're a bit more tankish when you use it. And there's dual wielding, so you've got like a lightsaber in each hand. But I still use classic single and double. But yeah, I just really like these games. Like, it's been a few years since I finished the first one.
Yeah, I didn't finish the first one. I got a few hours into it, maybe 5, and I just it just felt very. I don't know, if you stripped away all the Star Warsiness of it, it felt like it didn't have much to it. Do you think this is a jump up from that?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think it's as difficult either. So I dropped the difficulty down on Fallen Order. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is really, really tough. At least I've not got to that point in this, or I have put it on story mode and forgot. But it feels a lot more playable. Like, it's just easier to sort of pick up. Have a quick wee 45-minute session, and you're not like frustrated with anything.
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
Well,
I genuinely had no idea it was on Game Pass, so I might just. I don't need to finish the first one. I mean, it's Star Wars. How good can the story be?
it gives you the recap. Gives you a recap.
There we go.
Yeah, it comes by a year play, so. Another thing that puts me off buying Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll be on there in
it will
like
happen.
a year or something.
9 months it usually is. So.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. Like, if you're at least semi into Star Wars stuff, it's on that service. I would give it a shot. Like, it's cool.
I
cool
enjoyed
story.
it a lot
It's a cool
when
game.
I played it. Yeah.
Did you finish it?
I finished it, yeah. It's the beginning of last year, I think, wasn't it?
It came out just before Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
About April 23, roughly, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tough time.
Indeed.
Tough time to release. Interesting. Alex, you also mentioned you've been playing a tiny little bit of a game that we hadn't heard of. Neo Harbor Rescue Squad. What a fantastic name. How's
It's
the
a
game?
fantastic little game. Like, it reminds me of... I don't know if either you remember these games back in the Wii, Trauma Center. And you had
Never
to go
played
and
it.
do these mini games. Like, it was like it was almost a bit like Surgeon Simulator type thing. So essentially, you're this little rookie guy who's coming into the Harbour Rescue Squad, which is a team of paramedics in this little harbour area, and it's your first day as this rookie paramedic, and you need to start going and doing these different things as part of your squad. And the way it's basically kind of, I don't know if it's what you expect, because I'm not really giving you the type of game to expect it. But it's a lot of mini games, and you basically go out in these different situations, and you have to like triage the area because something's happened. Like, for the early part of the story, like, these stray cats have got wild and injured loads of people, and you need to triage the people that need treated, and they can be in different areas of where you are. So you've got like different scenes that you need to manage and see who needs the most urgent treatment, and making sure you're keeping them all alive to complete them to get like a rank at the end of the 5-10 minutes it might take you to get through it. But all the things that you do are like really daft little mini games. So it's like pulling little bits of glass out their arms, so that you get these wee tweezers, you need to pull these wee shards of glass, or you need to roll their bandages around their arms, or like pick the right spot to give them an injection, give them CPR by hitting the triggers at the right point. All kind of random things like that, but it's all done then with a kind of tongue-in-cheek story. It's quite funny, and the narrative taking you along. It looks really nice. Playing it on PS5, and it looks really nice. Just a nice kind of cartoony art style and stuff, and quite good humour. And it's like you are this little paramedic squad, and nobody likes you because you're not the big beefy fireman, and it's a fireman that got all the limelight. And it's like, how can we turn it round for us? And the gossip reporters always kind of putting you down to speak up for the firemen, and it's just silly and fun, and it knows what it wants to be, and it's done it really well.
It's really Saturday morning cartoon art
It's
style.
that kind of
Yeah.
art style, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one of those kind of mini game simulators, really. All it is mini games as you go through. You've got some choices to make, and it's all about trying to keep all these people alive by doing the right mini games at the right time and succeeding in them.
Ah.
Looks like a mobile UI again. Just to bring it back to that.
A little bit, yeah.
Not a
But
bad
in terms
thing.
of you're actually playing it, I don't know how well it would work in a mobile because you are using for putting the bandages on, you're rotating the thumbstick, or for doing the CPR
Right.
and stuff, you're using the triggers, or if you're squeezing air, you're kind of slowly and kind of using the triggers and not quite the adaptive trigger, but you need to do it slowly in and out and stuff like that. So I don't think they need to adapt it quite a bit to do it in mobile for how the actual mechanics of it work, but.
This it's obviously brand new out, isn't it? It's only got 2 reviews on Steam so far.
Yeah.
It's barely.
I
got
think
any
it's
coverage
literally
whatsoever.
Today. I think it might have released today.
Yeah. So it looks. Yeah, it's very clean looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's
And-
just
and I
about how
think
much
the develop-
fun those minigames are, right?
And they are they don't overstay their welcome. Some of them, they get to a stage where I think there's loads more people that you're treating, and they do. Probably in the terms of the hour I played, they've probably done at least 15 or 20 different mini games. So there is a decent variety of them. And then you get to stages where they start pushing them together rather than it just be one mini game to save a person. It's maybe you need to treat their cut, so you need to take the bandages out, and then you need to treat the wound, and then you need to put a bandage on, and then kind of layers it up. But yeah, and one of your team's a dolphin. I mean, why wouldn't they be?
Say no more.
The engineer is a talking dolphin.
Sold.
That's it.
Made by.
What? Well, I'm just now that you've said that, I can see on Steam there is a sort of dolphin with an orange hat, and then behind the guy there's a grumpy looking panda or something like that.
I'm maybe not got to him yet. Don't know about the panda
Love
yet.
it.
Yeah.
But I think that, as you say, for the mobile thing, I think they are historically, or from their, I think it started as mobile developers. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if this is their first console game, but they certainly are a Canadian developer. I can't
Yeah, their previous game was Worse Than Death. I'm trying to remember if that was on maybe in Indie World. That rings a bell. But,
Yeah.
yeah, that sounds more like a Lewis game.
Yes, it's probably black and white.
Yeah, interesting. Thank you again, Alex, for bringing a game like this to our attention.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the Lord's work.
I like a random game.
That's nice. Well, if you like a random game, I've got the most random of all games. Right now. Focus up, because we're about to play Guess the Outro.
Turbo.
Ready?
Always.
Okay, you've got 3 clues, 10 guesses to guess the outro music for this episode. Your first clue. A special edition version of this game included a peripheral called the JogCon.
Okay.
The JogCon. Mm-hmm. So that means
That's your
it's a
first clue.
Switch game, essentially.
Question 1. Go.
I mean, straight away I think it's like Ring Fit Adventure. Because there's that strap that you have to tie around your
Don't have a
leg.
JogCon, no.
But then what was that's what I'm thinking that thing is. The strap
No, that was
for your
just
leg.
a leg strap.
Was it
Gave
just
me
a
a
leg
leg
strap?
strap in the ring.
The big ring. I was playing Ring Fit. I was playing Ring Fit through the week.
Oh, you could have talked about that.
I could have spoke about that. Oh, maybe next week. Pretend.
Question 1.
I very much doubt it's an indie, but should we ask? Because it just seems tradition. Is it an indie, Ben?
No, it's not an indie.
Is it a Nintendo game?
No, it's not a Nintendo game.
Is it published on a Nintendo console though? Because the con makes you think.
Yeah, what I meant was it? Yeah, got to take that back. Just to clarify my question.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You're getting an electric shock off your remarkable too, you cunt.
Well, I suppose should we see
Jokes
if
on
it
you,
is
it's not electric.
some sort of fitness game, given that it says jog. Do you think? Because I mean,
Come on.
we could go down a rabbit hole of fitness games if we don't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Is it a fitness game?
No, it's not a fitness game.
Jog con.
Out of the rabbit hole and into the fire. Not a fitness game. Question 4.
Right, Lewis, hit him with some of your genres.
Yeah. So what the clue was,
That
a special edition was released with. What do you say?
Yeah, carry on. Do you?
Is this game an RPG, a fighting game, or a tactics game, or a
Fuck it up.
puzzle game?
So RPG, fighting, tactics, or puzzle?
Yeah.
No. Question 5, and then you get a clue.
Should we see if the developer, if it's like an Eastern developer or Western developer or something like that?
Yeah, that sounds like a good way to go.
Yeah. Ben, is it an Eastern developer or a Western developer?
Yes.
Is it an Eastern developer?
Where are you standing in the world when you ask
Just
that?
In the West.
Yes, it's an Eastern developer.
East of here.
Okay, clue.
Clue is this game features shameless product placement of a popular fighting game.
Product placement of a popular fighting game. In the game.
I said what I said.
Right.
It's
So
developed by Capcom.
could it be an arcade game?
I mean, you've got 2 famous fighting games, and if you you get more than 2, you get 3, do you?
Well, actually, you've got 20.
Well, you probably get 3. I mean,
By an Eastern developer. Well, you got like Street Fighter.
you've got
Tekken.
Street Fighter, you've got Tekken, and you've got Mortal Kombat. But Mortal Kombat's not Eastern, is it? Mortal
No.
Kombat's Western. So you've got Street Fighter, Tekken, and if you work out which one of them, then it's likely either going to be a Capcom or a Bandai game. So do you either ask, is it a Capcom or a Bandai game, or do you ask, is it a Tekken or a Street Fighter? Same question, really, isn't it?
I'll let you decide.
Is the game Street Fighter? Not the game, like the game that its product plays, Street Fighter.
No.
Doesn't mean it's Tekken, I guess. Should I say, is the game, no, right, can we go back? Can I take that back a second?
No. No rewinds.
Rewind.
Question 7.
I'd be curious to know if it was an arcade game. Because there's all that. Like I seem to think that kind of thing happened in arcade games. Other games would be
Playable in it.
yeah, or like in the background. Ben, is this an arcade game?
There's every time there's one of these questions that just makes me go, no. This isn't an arcade game.
Okay. Thanks for answering that question normally. This isn't an arcade game, so maybe something else in the franchise, another game in the franchise, is an arcade game.
Should we try and narrow down the developer, or do you think it's not worth it?
Yeah, could do.
What do you think?
You do both. Could do like, is it both? Is it either Bandai or Konami or something like that you were saying, or Capcom? Sorry.
But then if it's not, I don't know. Or do we focus on? I would guess now it's not Capcom. If it's not Street Fighter, that's a game that's featured, because you're not going to feature another famous fighting game. If you're Capcom.
JogCon. The fuck.
Unless it could be something like Yakuza. That's the kind of random shit that Yakuza game would do.
Could be Sega.
Sega, and they've got all their arcades like in the Yakuza games. But I don't remember anything having a JogCon. But I suppose you do run around a lot, and you and like Kamurocho and stuff. You'll go with say it's even a Sega game. Is that a Sega game?
No, not a Sega
Right,
game.
that's that one going. So what's that, number 8?
Drat.
Yep. Question 9.
And then we're just
JogCon.
Jog
What was
on.
the second clue? Jog on.
Shameless product placement of a
Shameless
popular
product
fighting game.
Sorry? Of a
From
popular
a
fighting game.
popular fighting game.
Does it like Armored Core have anything like that in it?
No, I'm going to Scooby.
You played it.
You say that every time we play this game. That's like your catchphrase. Oh, love it. Question 9. Do you go the genre route? Do you go the year route? Do you go the developer route?
I'd say the year route was probably quite old. It was something
the
stupid like a JogCon.
platform.
Did we see if it was on if the special edition was on a Nintendo console?
Well, I said Nintendo. One of the first questions was Nintendo.
No, not necessarily a Nintendo game though, because the JogCon could have been a Wii thing. That sounds like a Wii, something you would get in a Wii. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a Nintendo game.
I don't really remember hearing con as a controller. Maybe it's not a controller. Maybe that's a red herring from Mythical Autumn.
It's gobshite again, isn't it?
Probably. It actually was on the Switch. And it is Ring Fit Adventure. You're right first off.
But the developer was actually a second party studio. No. Come on, question 9. Let's do this.
What do you want to do?
Just ask a question, Lewis. It's your turn.
Yeah, ask a question. All those questions I have. to
Just
hand.
flooding
Just
through
ask a
your mind.
question. Is this game from the last 15 years?
Great question.
Is it?
No.
Right, it must be a Wii game then. So Wii in the last 15 years? I don't know. No, the Wii's longer than that.
I mean, it was still being used in like, what's this?
I bet it came
2009?
out,
Yeah.
what, 2002?
Do you know what?
Nah.
Because I am a benevolent king, I will say this came out in 1998 originally.
1998.
Yeah.
JogCon. Oh, is it like some shite fucking Ryan Giggs Soccer Star or something like that?
Sounds like some shite that Reese's sent in.
Yeah, it's probably. Objective.
Parappa the Rapper or something.
The worst.
Was this a... So what was that then? PlayStation 2? Was that 98? Is it PlayStation 1? I don't know.
Still PlayStation 1. PS2 was like, was it like,
But I don't know. I
2000
can't
odd.
remember anymore. Xbox was what, 25? And so that was what, 2005 was the Xbox? So yeah, it probably is PS1.
can I just say, so this isn't a question, but this is a suggestion from a listener.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah, right. Okay. Can I just?
He didn't
can
tell
I
us
just
that this time, so we'll just clarify.
Oh, you would have
just
got it
clarify some
instantly.
question? Can I ask the listeners, please, if this is a dog shit game, please stop suggesting dog shit games.
You've only ever got 2 wrong.
I think we could be on for 3 here.
I think you could be.
We want grade A, top of the pile games that we've all at least played.
Look, it's hard enough getting them to submit ones without putting additional ask
Right,
them.
let's just
We'll
ask
take
a
what we can
question
get.
10 and see what the last clue is and see if we can pull it out of the bag at the last second
Yeah.
again.
As you always do. It adds to the drama. Come on, question 10.
Is this an N64 game?
No, not an N64 game. I can tell you, this is your final clue. It was a PlayStation game.
I hope that's not the full clue.
That's not a clue.
And it is one of 20 games that are included on the PlayStation Classic mini console that came out.
The PlayStation Classic, the console that had 0 games that people liked.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's no help at all. That's not a good clue.
I remember I seen it for £15 and I still wouldn't buy it.
No.
Okay, I think you were getting somewhere with the whole fighting game angle. You were close.
Close.
That's all I'm saying.
So does
not
that mean
fighting.
that probably take you back to Tekken then, or would you take you back to Bandai, wouldn't it? Maybe.
You got one guess, one Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
Send up
Oh,
your
could
prayers.
this be something shite like...
Here he
Metal Gear-
comes. Here he comes.
Could this be some shite
do
like
it.
Metal Gear Solid? Because
Some shite.
like, because did Kojima know like to like give you pure random shit with games? Or do random shit with games?
Kind of his
like,
MO.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a better idea, Lewis.
Yeah, I don't have any idea.
But was Metal Gear Solid on that PlayStation Classic?
I've got no idea.
We've all got one, I'm sure.
So what were the quote? Let's.
It's one of 20 games of the PlayStation Classic. It had product placement for a famous fighting game, and it had a jog con.
What's a jog con? Let me Google jog con.
No.
I think that would give it away.
Yeah. On you go, Alex.
Is
Throw one out.
it? Just go, is it Metal Gear Solid?
Unfortunately, it's not Metal Gear Solid, and you have fallen
It's a
to
shame.
defeat. So the Jog-Con was basically a PlayStation controller with a jog wheel in the middle, used for steering.
Oh, I played this a couple of weeks ago, and it was
At that
Ridge
thing with all
Racer.
the peripherals. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is Ridge
Ridge
Racer
Racer.
Type 4.
I couldn't
Yeah.
have got you. It told you the type, but it was Ridge Racer because I couldn't get the thing to work. It was the
Yeah.
most ridiculous.
Oh, it wasn't the
thing.
twisty, because Namco did
Oh, there was a
like a
twisty
twisty one. This was one with a jog wheel in the centre. Hence the name.
Jog wheel.
Jog-Con. Yeah, you know what I used to have on your iPods back in the day.
Is that what you
Like a
call them?
little brrr, yeah.
I wouldn't have called
So there you go. And the shameless product placement was Tekken. So you mentioned Tekken. You were close. And in fact, Ridge Racer's like littered with nods to other Namco franchises,
Yeah.
like throughout the series. And Lewis, when you said arcade, I was like, well, Ridge Racer is an arcade game, but this was originally a PlayStation game. So you
I
were
still
bad-
take it. I
a
still
bad
take it
game.
as a win, Lewis. I think we kind of got it.
yeah,
I agree.
Metal Gear Solid is basically the same.
We can see why I went down that ridiculous route, but yeah.
Yeah. Take up your grievances with Andrew because he suggested this
Oh.
game.
Oh, of course.
Nah, Andrew.
It's because he
And
doesn't
it is.
actually know any Dreamcast games. He had a PlayStation one.
And it is
Big disappointment.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a great deal. Thank you, Andrew. Great work. Great work. And just to
Ridge
pre-warn you,
Racer.
Andrew made more than one suggestion, so there might be more. This is probably the
Send them.
easiest.
Can you? Is it possible to send them back? Send them back.
This has been rebuffed. But no,
Refund that £1.
it's please don't. The song is Urban Fragments by Kota Takahashi featuring Kimara Lovelace. And it is
I bet it's not even good.
It's such sounds like such an Andrew song as well. Like,
when you hear it, I think you'll agree It's 100% an Andrew song. Every element of it is like, yeah. In fact, we could have done guess the outro. Right, I'll play the song and you tell me who suggested it. And, yeah, 100% you would have said Andrew. But it's fun. It's a fun one. It's not the coolest song we've ever had, but it's of its time and it's enjoyable in its own way.
3 seconds is enough.
As I always say. No, so this is Urban Fragments from R4 Ridge Racer Type 4.
He's the one for me, and there's no place I'd rather be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. To the finish line, everywhere you look, he's right on time.